because when African Americans were living in black neighborhoods, they also had economically depressed housing values, and the reality is they were not able to
change it. Help change it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
I'll give you an idea. Are you familiar with Palmdale?
I'm gonna need you to be drug tested. Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you even know today? We've done the stories in Florida when somebody's black selling their house, the appraisers will come in and literally give them a value $100,000 to $300,000 less because they're black.
In this clip from Patrick Bet-David's podcast, we have Roland Martin going, as you can already see, absolutely crazy on Patrick Bet-David. It's a clash of perspectives on systematic racism, housing inequalities, and victimhood mentality. Now, here's the question. Is Roland actually schooling Patrick, or is he just throwing out big claims with no solid foundation? That's what we're going to be finding out in this clip that's evidently already pretty insane. So let's get into it, where I'll be giving you my unfiltered take.
You know that's actually happened, right?
You'll take one story and say that.
Oh my God!
On how many occasions has that happened?
Are you serious?
Do you think a message like
why don't you go ahead and Google? Why don't you go ahead and Google?
How many times has that happened? No, I believe it's happened, but how many times has that happened?
The New York Times literally just did a story talking about the systemic racism that exists within housing appraisals. This is a fundamental problem. I'm trying to see you're living in a different reality.
What progress are you making by saying that?
What progress?
So what you're doing?
I'm trying to end that. Okay. Do you know how inherent? Okay, hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
You're trying to.
Hold on. You said you're Middle Eastern, right?
I am. Yes.
How would you feel? How would you feel?
Yes.
If you're selling your home, you've got a home that you know,
right?
And you put upgrades in it, and you know your home is worth $500,000.
Yeah.
And somebody comes into your home, and they see your photos,
right?
And they see your family, and then they go back and they go $350,000. You go, what the hell?
So you tell that story.
Wait, one second.
To get people to be convinced that's happening.
It's actually
out of 1,000 appraisals.
Oh my God.
Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen?
You want to pull that up?
You want
him to pull that up?
That's your world, though. Out of 1,000 appraisals, how many times does that happen? Let's just say it happens.
It is a significant issue in America.
Oh my God!
And wait, one second.
There's a big difference.
And then when the woman, a black person should not have to remove their photos from the wall and remove black art and remove black books to have a white appraiser then come in and go, oh, it's actually $550.
So, I mean, that is a very simple and straightforward statement that I think everyone should agree with. Imagine feeling like you have to erase your identity just to get a fair appraisal on your home. That is definitely insane. But one question that I genuinely think has to be asked is, how widespread is this really? Are we talking about isolated instances or an actual epidemic? Because if it's the former, it's a horrible reality, but not necessarily evidence of a systematic issue. And let's not forget, stories like this are sensational because they are rare. If this were happening on every block, you wouldn't need the media to amplify it. The outrage would already be obvious. Now, this is not to excuse the people that are actually doing this, because this is not okay whatsoever.
So, one second, because I'm gonna show you how it impacts generationally.
Here we go.
So when you follow me here, because this is housing discrimination in America. When you then get that lower appraisal, you then cannot sell your house for the higher value, which then means you are not then taking those proceeds and being able to invest, being able to send your kids to school. And what I'm trying to explain to you is there is a world out here that for some reason you're like living in Unity world that ain't the real America.
Brother, you have the wrong guy.
And I'm trying to get rid of that stuff.
You have the wrong guy here. I'm
trying to get rid of it.
Okay, good for you. I am as well. But you have the wrong guy here. And here's what I mean by that. So when you ask the question, what do you do if they appraise your house $350,000 less, right? That's your question. Okay. I don't see myself as a victim. I stopped looking at myself as a victim a long time ago. And by the way, being Armenian and Assyrian, you know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? You know what a lot of people in the Armenian community do? They sell victimhood mentality. I'm raised with that.
I think Patrick's got a very, very good point here, and it doesn't get said enough. As someone who's Middle Eastern, I think I can resonate a little bit with this. Victimhood mentality is a trap. Sure, systematic issues exist, but at some point, you have to take responsibility for your own life. Because if you're constantly blaming everything that happens to you, some things that are probably wrongfully fit under that umbrella, you will constantly be in this idea that you have no control over your life. And what does that do? It makes you truly not have any control over your life. I mean, look at groups like the Armenians or Asians who faced historical discrimination but still managed to thrive in America. How? By focusing on solutions instead of grievances. Does that mean we ignore the problems? Absolutely not. But blaming the system without taking personal accountability doesn't move the needle forward. I think this is a very fair point, one that honestly is an issue that not a lot of people talk about, and something that I think can easily be misunderstood if, of course, not understood correctly. However, of course, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts because this is honestly a point that I'm pretty both-sided on, right? So let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
Which is the statement of mechka. I know you don't know what the word mechka means. Mechka means, oh, poor Roland. Oh, poor PBD. I don't see myself as a victim. And the other part is when you use one story as an example to divide and get people even angrier because out of 1,000 appraisals this happened one time, I don't think you're unifying when you say a statement like that to say, hey, this is what's taking place all the time. But going back to it, so you left because you wanted better economic situation for yourself.
Listen to what you just said. Again,
I'm having a hard time listening to what you just said when you're saying
it's so fundamentally flawed because when you say, "Oh my God," you see yourself as a victim.
You do.
No,
you're selling it as a victim.
No, I'm not. What I'm selling is a reality. What I'm selling is when this is again. Since you didn't, I guess you couldn't pull it up. Okay.
Oh, he did pull it up.
Okay, the Biden administration, the Federal Housing and Finance Agency released 47 million appraisal reports to the public for the first time. The appraisals, which were compiled between 2013 and 2021, present evidence of a persistent, widespread practice in the home appraisal industry to give higher values to homes when the occupants are white and devalue them if the owners are people of color.
That's such bullshit. That's such bullshit. You know why?
Hold up.
Let me tell you why that's such bullshit.
They actually took the reports and showed the data, and now you call it bullshit.
Of course I call it bullshit.
So you asked for the data and the facts.
No.
And now you give your opinion because you don't like the facts.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Do you run a company?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when you run a company, how much shit can I find in the OPEX? How much
in the what?
With OPEX. When I go into my balance sheet and I look at my expenses, my monthly expenses, what I'm paying for, rent, employees, benefits, workers' comp, I can give a number and say, we lost $280,000 this year. And it's like, oh my God, we lost $280,000. And then I open up the balance sheet and then boom, I'll see you're moving your face like you don't know what I'm talking about.
First of all,
when I see a data like this, tell me the whole story. To jump to conclusion with something like this without seeing the entire story is ludicrous to make a comment like that. But
analyzing the millions of appraisals by using census tracts as a proxy for neighborhoods and comparing communities with nearly identical housing stock, two researchers found that the results showed a clear correlation. The higher the proportion of white residents in each community, the higher the appraised value of individual homes. They compared similar data. See, again, you want to reject the facts. And what I'm trying to explain to you is I
am refusing to constantly have people give data without me having access to the entire thing for their own benefit to divide
So what you're saying is in order for you need access to the 47 million home appraisals.
I'd love to see
yourself.
I would love to see it.
Okay, guess what? It's a federal agency. File a FOIA.
I'd love to see it.
File a FOIA.
But here's file a what?
A FOIA.
Okay, so I'd love to see it. You know why? Here's the part. How often do you see data being used and we don't know the whole story? Both sides. How often?
Well, first of all, we see data out there, but what I'm saying, I'm looking at data, actual data, and I'm also looking at a reality. And here's what I'm saying to you. And again, this is what you, for some reason, you're not fully accepting. What is the most consistent way Americans have been able to actually build wealth? It has been through housing.
Roland is absolutely right here. Housing is one of the most reliable ways to build generational wealth. And addressing the elephant in the room, government policies like the New Deal and FHA loans systematically exclude black families. That is a historical fact. But fast forward to today, Do we fix that by crying foul, or do we empower people with tools to succeed in the current system? That, I think, is where the real debate lies. Patrick is basically saying, stop waiting for the system to fix itself and go out and make your own path. It's not easy, but it is better than waiting another 53 years for politicians to do something, probably.
That's been historical. And when you are black in America, this is not an opinion, this is not a perspective, it's a fact. What we have seen is when you have been unable to enter the housing industry, meaning covenants saying you can't sell to black people, then when you actually buy a home and they've been grossly undervalued, that then limits you from being able to sell your home at a higher value and now take the profits and then create a business and then be able to send your kids to college. And what I'm saying to you is, when that has been persistent, when you look at the appraisals, one, when you look at inability where you're buying a house, two, all of a sudden now you see a clear way how African Americans have been impacted, not historically, but still in present day. And what I'm saying to you is, whether you are Democrat or Republican, I want that to change, because what I want you've
had 53 years. The Democrats
when Republicans were president and in charge, they didn't change this.
Wait a minute. Democrats have had the black vote for 53 years. What have you done?
You're not even answering the question.
What's that?
On this issue right here, Roland, is Democrat, Republican, independent. It is a systemic American problem.
You still haven't answered my basic question. I asked you about 27 out of 30 cities. You blame the state.
No. I answered the question.
What did you say?
I said to you, you show me high crime areas. I am explaining to you how they're high crime areas.
Roland can talk all day about systematic racism and inequality, but let's keep it real. Black Americans have been loyal to Democrats for decades, and what do they have to show for it? High crime, failing schools, and economic stagnation in majority black cities run by Democrats. At some point, you have to ask, who's really benefiting from this loyalty? Because it sure isn't the people. Patrick is trying to cut through the noise here, and it's a question everyone should be asking. What's the return on that investment? Of course, as always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this and all of the other points made within this clip. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.